Authorities say drones are now being used to breach prison security across the U.S., flying over walls and fences to deliver contraband to inmates, everything from cigarettes to cell phones.
Steak, crab legs, weed, and cigarettes. This is what a drone dropped off at a prison in South Carolina just weeks before Christmas. Here's what was inside the illicit drone drop package: raw steak, crab legs, Old Bay seasoning, a plastic baggie of marijuana, and a couple cartons of cigarettes.
That can't be legal.
I guess the Christmas crab boil has been canceled or postponed for a little bit.
We got 2 commandments and 2 only. The first commandment is you got nothing coming.
What's the second commandment?
See commandment number 1.
But on this episode, we're going to get into how they using these drones right now to get inmates all types of contraband and why it's being allowed to happen and what's being done about it. What it look like, TV?
I am back. What it do, baby?
YouTube's own Varnell Hill.
Did ya miss me?
Your very own spokesman for the Insidians. We're inside and we're comfortable.
They're so comfortable.
And I'm back with another one. And today, y'all, I got a doozy for y'all. They are using these drones right now to pretty much get the inmates anything they want. It's like they're running and operating a full inmate eats or inmate cart. Instead of Instacart, inmate cart. Instead of Uber Eats, inmate eats. Because these inmates right now have people on the outside and they can pretty much dial a number and get whatever they want delivered.
What you're seeing here is real surveillance video of what officials call drone drops. Watch drones operated by organized crime rings flying over prisons, dropping down dangerous contraband. In Georgia, 71 drone incidents just last month, the most ever. And just this week in South Carolina, a drone even delivering steak and crab leg with drugs to one prison yard.
Marijuana is not a drug.
Before we go any further, we have to question why would the inmates want the crab legs? And I'm questioning this not for what y'all think. We all know why they want the crab legs. But why would you want something that once you cook it, the whole prison going to know that you had some crab legs?
Ooh, but smell you.
That's saying that the rules are lax to begin with, because there's no way that you sneaking some crab legs. You are not going to smell like the commissary meatloaf if you done had some crab legs and some Old Bay. And there's no washing that off, even with regular soup. You ain't had no lemons in that drop. I need answers on how was you going to eat the crab legs and get away with eating the crab legs?
Look closely. That flashing light is over a prison.
It's daily now, so it's hit the point where it's daily.
Drones just like this one are flying over institutions at an alarming rate.
We've seen and caught up to 30 in 1 week. In my expert opinion, I would say that's about 50% probably of what actually is occurring then.
During flight, packages are being dropped into prisons.
It could be inside of a football, right? So they could be out in the middle of the sports field, which is not uncommon for us to see a football. Or we've seen them fly at night right up to the windows of the inmates, because if they have a cell phone in their cell, you can send out you can pinpoint your location within feet, so the drone can actually fly right to that cell phone. And then an inmate can reach his arm out and grab the package.
He claims the number of weapons and drugs are skyrocketing.
Drugs get in, creates overdoses, it creates lockdowns, it creates searches. We're seeing volumes of cell phones being dropped in that we've never seen before, and that gives them sort of access to the outside world to continue conducting their criminal activities. We're seeing actual pocket knives, we're seeing brass knuckles.
In that same state, one inmate escaping from a maximum security prison using wire cutters authorities say were dropped in by a drone.
It is a serious, evolving, and not an imminent threat. It is immediate. We are in the throes of it right now.
Just a few hours ago, a drone dropped a payload of marijuana and rolling papers at this maximum security prison in Columbia, South Carolina. And this is part of a bigger conversation across the whole nation. Now get this, the Federal Bureau of Prisons is saying that nearly 500 drones flew over federal prisons last year. But unlike the federal government, states like South Carolina can't just shoot drones out of the sky. That would be a huge no-no for the FAA. Right now, states can only detect drones and confiscate them if they crash. And that's when the tech wizards at the Department of Corrections come into play. They can pull the in-flight records, and that could lead to a pretty easy arrest. Prison officials say drones wouldn't be nearly as big of an issue if inmates didn't have access to the cell phones that they pay people thousands of dollars to smuggle in. The federal government is looking to allow states to use things like radio jamming technology, which would prevent inmates from contacting people outside the prison walls in the first place.
Now, the FAA considers drones registered aircraft, which means prison officers can only stand by and watch. Most authorities cannot shoot them down, but a solution could be on the horizon, guys. In coming weeks, Congress expected to pass legislation that will give correctional facilities the authority to counter these drones.
I think that legislation that they could shoot these things down is needed, and it's needed as soon as possible. And it's kind of common sense. We should be able to get certain stuff passed and speedball through because it makes common sense. They're not shooting up in the sky and shooting at any planes, so the FAA shouldn't be concerned. We're trying to shoot down these drones that's obviously trying to drop a package off, because right now, things are being dropped all over the place in these prison yards.
No way. Oh, it's dropping it. Oh, man. Wow. He's grabbing it. Yo.
Security video shows recreation time for inmates. But watch this guy, looking up, following something. He wanders around for 20 seconds. Then he grabs for something falling from the sky. Soon as it hits the ground, he covers it. Investigators say a drone dropped a phone and marijuana. Dropped that into the Cuyahoga County Jail Euclid complex. Happened in June. Not discovered until days later. A report also shows suspected drugs, phones, and other items previously found on the roof. This video just released to the I-Team. Sheriff's deputies just finished the investigation into the drone delivery, sent the case to Cuyahoga County prosecutors.
Barbed wire at the top of walls and fences, that certainly won't stop someone from flying over and dropping something inside a complex. In fact, the I-Team has found lockups nationwide making headlines for incidents with drones. And that now has jailers talking about what they need to do.
Just trying to fly low, avoid the radar, boss.
And to be clear, this is happening in prisons all over the world. This is not just happening in America.
It's literally this easy for drugs to fall from the sky.
And it's happening across Canadian prisons, sometimes daily.
It's absolutely insane.
This crashed near Matsqui Prison in Abbotsford, BC.
They've got tape covering any sort of lights on the drone, and you can see on the bottom here that this is obviously some sort of device the package was probably hooked onto to drop it.
And the drops can have serious consequences. Last year, Randall says at the Matsqui prison, a single drop carrying fentanyl killed one person, saw 9 inmates overdose and taken to emergency, and 39 others needing medical support. Another drone package was found with 13 bundles of crystal meth last fall. Randall says it was worth about $8,000 on the streets, but $180,000 in the prison. Drone drops are causing debt among inmates, not to mention more violence made worse by weapons being dropped too. Hacksaw blades, ceramic knives, to name a few, and there's even cell phones. In 2019, Correctional Services Canada committed to spending $6 million to install drone detection technology in 6 prisons. But the Union of Correctional Officers says there are delays, and so far the technology is only being installed in 1 prison in Quebec. We repeatedly asked corrections about this project, but they did not give an update. They said sharing the info could cause security concerns, but they know that drone drops are an issue and are working with companies on various ways to detect them across Canada.
Londoners living in the shadow of HMP Wandsworth say they see drones attempting to smuggle in contraband and hear inmates screaming. Residents have described being concerned about the prison's staffing levels. Despite this, they say they feel safe living so close to the prison, which is on Heathfield Road. The comments come as the prison is facing scrutiny after prisoner Daniel Khalif was charged with escaping it. A spokesperson for His Majesty's Prison Service said they had invested £100 million into prison security to clamp down on contraband across the estate. Former British Army soldier Mr. Khalif appeared in court on Monday charged with escaping from lawful custody. An inmate was also stabbed at the prison on Sunday, days after Mr. Khalif's alleged escape, in an incident thought to be between prisoners. The Metropolitan Police said no arrests had been made and inquiries into the circumstances of the attack were ongoing. Maria, who did not wish to give her surname, has lived close to the prison since 2014. The 44-year-old said the area felt really safe when she first moved in, but claimed she slowly started to notice more drones, believed to be carrying contraband, and more dodgy people hanging around. She said, "We've had some people looking for drones stuck in trees, things like that." A report from Wandsworth's Independent Monitoring Board published in September 2022 found there was a staffing crisis, wholly inadequate physical conditions, and incidents of violence at alarming levels.
The union that represents correctional officers are tracking the drones.
So I get a call as soon as anytime there's a drone sighting or a drone drop with a report.
Glacier Media did ask Correctional Service Canada for those numbers, and we're told, although there may be drone sightings, the total number of drone drops reported varies. Preventing and reducing the number of contraband items and illicit drugs in institutions is an ongoing priority.
It's crazy, like we're seeing packages coming in that you would see crossing a border normally, that you would see on like border shows.
Decoy drones distract staff from knowing which device has a package.
Recently, even, we've seen where they'll fly 3, 4, and 5 drones at one given point in time. So you kind of don't know what's going on. You're trying to figure out what drone you need to pay attention to.
A pilot project for detecting drones just launched in BC at a number of prisons.
So we've seen some go live actually this week, which has been very beneficial so far.
CSC confirms the pilot project, along with other methods such as using dogs to detect electronic devices, a body scanner pilot, and cell phone detection pilot.
The technology is probably the best solution for sure, and it's out there, and we're pretty confident with this current system that they're installing.
Using radar, sound, and frequency, the drones can be found and taken over.
Now that technology, unfortunately, is not legal in Canada yet, but so we're using a detection system right now.
The locations of the pilot project can't be revealed for security reasons, but this technology could soon be deployed at all BC prisons.
This is a big problem all around the world, and as you can imagine, the job of a prison guard has changed drastically. But I hope y'all realizing that the inmates pretty much told on themselves and blew this story up themselves, because majority of the footage that we got, the proof of these prison drop packages, is from other inmates recording the drop and putting it out for the general public to consume through TikTok and other social media platforms. We wouldn't have known about it if y'all wouldn't have had the cell phones, one, and y'all wouldn't have been, I gotta keep it real with y'all, dumb enough to have a cell phone in jail and then record the drops coming in. That's just idiotic. Stupid. But as you can imagine, with an influx of phones in the jail, the scamming is only just going to go through the roof.
What you're seeing here is real surveillance video of what officials call drone drops. Watch drones operated by organized crime rings flying over prisons, dropping down dangerous contraband. And authorities say drops like these can have a surprising connection to scam calls like this.
Hello, this is Sergeant Christopher with the Potawatomi County Sheriff's Office.
The voicemail sounds normal enough. A man calling an Iowa dentist claiming to be from the local sheriff's office, saying he needs to talk.
I have some legal document that requires your immediate attention. So at your earliest convenience, contact me back.
Even the phone number on the screen shows the caller ID as the local sheriff's office. But in reality,
we were able to trace this all back to a person inside of the Calhoun State Prison in Georgia.
Incredibly, an inmate behind bars in a prison more than 1,000 miles away, operating a sophisticated scam using phones delivered by drones, targeting multiple women in healthcare in Iowa and other states, according to records obtained by ABC News.
A lot of these ladies that got scammed, these doctors and nurses throughout Iowa, in a span of 3 days, these guys scammed about $530,000.
The scammers telling them they failed to appear in court as expert witnesses and told to pay a fine.
This was a very well-planned scheme. They were able to research people, find out about them, so they knew who to scam, who had money.
The inmate then working with associates on the outside to impersonate law enforcement and meet the women, even providing receipts like this one to collect the money. Authorities say this scam was only possible because of the escalating threat. Drones dropping contraband into prison yards.
It could be anywhere from tobacco, cell phones, drugs,
tools.
It's a criminal operation that is increasingly putting authorities on the defensive.
We're under attack every single day when it comes to combating this issue.
Things are totally getting out of control. And as you can imagine, this is making life hell for everybody, especially the inmates that just want to keep their head down, do their time so they can get up out of there. So what's life for them right now with all this foolishness going on with people trying to break the rules? How has this affected just the common inmate that's trying to pay his debt to society and get out of there?
So close.
Well, there you go. That was one of the states where they could shoot them out the air, and as you can see, it almost injured somebody. It almost had a lawsuit on their behind, especially if he didn't have anything to do with that whole prison drop. So maybe that's where some of this hesitancy was coming into play at. You never know.
I got a drone for Christmas, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited to go out a little bit later and fly this thing around. But what it reminded me of was the one time I was on Nottoway Work Center and we got locked down because drones had went over top the prison. I remember this morning pretty clear because it was suddenly out of nowhere right after breakfast. We went on lockdown immediately, which was out of the ordinary because it was a work camp and the guys worked on the road crews and they would pick up trash, clean ditches, cut the grass, do other projects there in VA. And typically there were no really reasons or issues going on in the camp that would cause for that type of prison to be locked down. Just didn't happen. So when we got locked down that morning, it threw everybody off. We had just got through an annual shakedown, which they never doubled back, especially there. And everybody was extremely confused. On top of the fact that when everybody asked the guards what was going on, they said absolutely nothing. They wouldn't give an answer. They said they didn't know. They did everything in their power to avoid telling us what was going on. And then the news came on. It was reported that ourselves and the prison that was across the street were locked down because evidently drones had flew over the prison and they had concerns that they had potentially been dropping off contraband. To my knowledge, no contraband was dropped, but it was a big thing because you shouldn't be flying anything over prisons. It's essentially a no-fly zone, if you will. And let me tell you something, it had them on edge. They were so much on edge that evidently the story had made it to the news station. So I don't know, it was an out of the ordinary day, and you've probably seen stories all across the internet now where individuals may or may not use, things like that to do certain things. So listen, this was the first and only time I've ever experienced that. It was unique. Now I'm just going to fly my drone because I got it for Christmas and I want to just have some fun. That's it. Maybe take some videos of the house or, I don't know, the park or something. Peace. Oh, stay free.
Imagine continuously being punished because somebody else can't act right, man, because you got to punish the whole prison for that, man. You just can't punish one or two people, especially if you don't know who's responsible. Everybody got to get punished. I would be a little frustrated, man. But anyway, moving right on along, man. Has anybody ever been caught for this?
Hell yes.
And what will happen to you if you get caught for this? And who exactly is doing this crime right here?
Fulton County Sheriff's Office has arrested 2 men for allegedly using drones to get contrabands inside the Fulton County Jail. We're talking everything from cell phones to narcotics to even McDonald's chicken sandwiches. Fox 5's Eric Mock is live outside of the jail. Eric, I mean, a lot that we're talking about. Chicken sandwiches trying to get inside the jail. Now they're in jail themselves.
Yeah, we're not making this up, Eric. They found a package that was tangled up in some razor wire here that had McDonald's chicken sandwiches along with oxycodone pills inside. And now this all started on Tuesday when the sheriff's office here got a tip that there was a drone flying around the jail. So they fanned out, did what they call a perimeter check of the surrounding area. That's when they located a vehicle that looked a little out of place, parked in a nearby neighborhood. There's a lot of residential areas here right around the jail. Now they executed a search warrant on that car and they found 2 men inside, Richard Redding and Jeffrey Jenkins. They also found a drone, the controller for the drone, and a lot of contraband, including 2.5 pounds of marijuana, oxycodone pills, other types of pills, hundreds of cigarettes, including loose cigarettes, and 9 cell phones. Now, I spoke with Natalie Ammons with the sheriff's office, and she says a lot of dangerous substances and tools to coordinate criminal activity that they were able to keep out of the hands of inmates here.
This is one of the largest contraband seizures that we've had in quite a while. And so we were very, very happy that we were able to intercept all of those drugs and cell phones before they made it inside the building.
Now, that bag of McDonald's chicken sandwiches and oxycodone pills, they found that a week ago. That was tangled up in the razor wire, and they said the packaging was very similar to the packaging they found in the car that Jenkins and Redding were found inside. So they believe that they may have been responsible for those chicken sandwiches as well.
Each one of them packs of cigarettes, I know at least was $100, maybe $200 once they broke them down. So that was a lot of money. That may have looked normal, but I'm pretty sure in prison dollars, that probably was damn near $250,000, man. It's like, nah. But I'm pretty sure that was a lot of money in prison. But as you can see, it will be lucrative. So with it being lucrative, you know, a lot of people wanted to dip their toe in this. And not knowing anything about technology, a lot of people are getting locked up right now.
23 defendants named in a pair of newly unsealed federal indictments. Prosecutors say they used 10 drones to smuggle marijuana, meth, and cell phones into Smith State, Telfair State, and other Georgia prisons. The indictment says this conspiracy began back in 2019 and continued through July of this year, involving inmates in several prisons and friends on the outside. Federal prosecutors provide a public glimpse into the conspiracy using texts sent between the defendants, like this 2019 conversation on the potency of marijuana being purchased between Devon Waller and an unindicted co-conspirator. These other texts between two defendants show just how much went into the planning. What you're going to do is put the 5 phones apiece in the 4 bags. Take 50 phones out of the box and just put them in a bag. Compress 3 cans apiece and grab 1 bag of marijuana and leave it by itself. Pictures of the equipment needed: vacuum sealer, hydraulic press, and of course, drugs. Prosecutors say 6 of them were never inmates. Their job was to help those on the inside, but now all 23 could be facing 10 years to life in prison for their part in the conspiracy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
The felony flights leading to a federal complaint against 4 men, including 2 here in the Sacramento region.
CBS 13's Steve Large is live at the federal courthouse with the details inside those court documents. Steve.
Yeah, I got a copy of the court documents right here. You know, it may seem like it would be easy to detect a drone flying over prison grounds, but these court documents show that these guys were able to make these drug drone drops over and over and over again before finally getting caught.
High state prison walls, no match for higher flying drones, smuggling drugs into the California state prison population. Court documents show 4 men are under arrest for the drone drops across 9 state prisons, including California State Prison Sacramento. The documents reveal heroin, methamphetamine, cocaine, marijuana, cell phones, chargers, and phone parts were all dropped inside prison walls. And the defendants, in some cases, dropped the contraband on prison rooftops stuffed inside a pigeon or hidden in a mop head.
The new version of using drones to drop the drugs in.
Sacramento State criminology professor Dr. Shelby Moffitt says the new high-tech trick takes the place of smuggling in drugs through family visits or prison staff.
How many of these officers can be watching every single inmate at every single minute of the day for them to be doing the things they do?
This surveillance video shows a drone drop at an Ohio prison, a prisoner looking up and trying to time the drop in an outdoor courtyard. Ohio prison guards say this drop included marijuana and a cell phone. The court documents reveal the defendants in this case planned the drops in the evening and overnight, when the drones were less likely to be seen and heard, and even bought camouflage gear they wore when flying in the drugs and cell phone devices from distant locations.
As you can see, it's a major problem, man. They're going to have to change these laws to kind of help these prisons out, let them be able to shoot them down or jam them somehow.
I got a right to protect my property.
But they're not going to be able to continue to operate like this, because this is putting the general public at risk at this point. So anyway, man, thought this was just an interesting, story that I came across. Really didn't see anybody cover it on YouTube. So, that's what I do. Try to bring y'all the out of the ordinary, interesting things. So this video is going to end like all the other videos. Hit me up in the comments section and let me know how you feel about everything you have just witnessed.
Tell me how you felt about what just happened there.
And if you made it to this point in the video, you are my MVP.
It was a stone groove, my man.
Out of here.
I just got one question. If you find this drone in your backyard with all these goodies in it, are you turning it in?